So today, we're going to be thinking about trust. And it's an interesting topic. And a lot of you in the lower leagues, listen to Into the Nexus. You listen to this show. I talk about when I'm getting a game, mainly what I'm afraid of, because dying is the worst thing you can do on your team. It's a very obvious application of strategy. I will not die this game. Therefore, I am most concerned about Diablo grabbing me on the enemy team. I am most concerned about getting blown away by Li Ming, perhaps. But that is all the negative flip side of it. Let's do the positive flip side of it, and that you have to trust your team. And if you end up picking something like Greymane or Butcher, Thrall, not so much these days, but those sort of divey characters that need to get in deep and sustain their attacks for what they actually need to accomplish, they need to trust everybody around them. And that's very scary in Bronze. If I say to you, well, the reason why you died there is because Uther didn't heal you. Well, yes, we shouldn't have any trust in Uther, and our playstyle changes. And it's constantly changing based on who we can trust in this game. And rolling into every game, I do my best to trust everything that the enemy team and my team is picking. I trust the enemy team that they're picking their best. Despite the enemy team picking a Gazlo, I'm going to assume that's the best Gazlo in the world, and I'm going to keep my awareness up. If the Gazlo's on my team, I have to assume that he's the best Gazlo in the world until he proves otherwise. And depending on my role, that won't really affect me much. If I'm the main tank, and if I need to protect my team, what Gazlo's up to won't affect me very much. If I am instead that assassin character, and my healer ends up being bad, I need to adjust my playstyle to interact with that newfound information. But we went in trusting each other. And it's important to note that breaking trust is one of the main reasons why people will become angry or trolly inside your game. It's not that... There are those guys that are just going to get mad about whatever hero you picked and it not being meta and whatever. Those guys got their own problems, right? They're in a whole world of their own thinking about how to make themselves angry, perhaps. They had a bad day, they use this game to relax, and something about what you've done has messed with their minds. That we could place on them, right? But rolling into the game, if we mess up and someone gets mad at us, we have broken the trust that they placed in us so we could win the game. And that's why they're upset. It's their own shortcomings. That's maybe a bad word for it. It's their own hangups that they brought to the game before it began. And it's not your fault they're upset. It's just you broke that trust. And you have to now sort of recover it in order to regain the camaraderie of your team. And that's why saying things like, if you die randomly in a lane, and everybody sees it, and there's no reason it happened, you face-checked a bush when you shouldn't have been going, then, you just type it oops. So everyone knows that it was a mistake, you're cool with it, you're a cool guy, you can place your trust back in them, and those sort of little exercises can help out a team hold it together even through that adversity when we're all sort of trading trust back and forth. So let's get started here. With that in mind, I don't know if it'll come up today, but it's an interesting topic, and we can look at what sort of things the team needed from our characters we're watching today. At least the first two replays. We're going to do a pro replay for our last one today. And what sort of things you could have trusted as part of your team in order to do better. In particular, I'm talking about this ETC game we're going to do, but we're going to start off as we normally do this episode in order of skill, of MMR based on hot slogs. It's not always a pure system. Our bronze character here might have a better game than our gold character here. It happens. So let's jump into it. It's Odin's Eye, Nazeebo, Towers of Doom. Let's take a look here at his email. He says, I'm working on my Nazeebo. I'm trying to decide if Gathering Power is the right talent for me. I missed a zombie wall early on in the game, but other than that, I felt good about the match. I just started playing in January, and I'm learning to MOBA. And some very nice compliments as well. Hope this makes the cut. If not, you'll still have a fan. Thank you for that. So let's jump into Odin's Eye here. He's playing Nazeebo. I'm interested to see what a bronze Nazeebo looks like. We got to play a little bit of Nazeebo last solo Q&A in Hero League. It was a very good game. I enjoyed it a lot. Really a cool application of his powers on Infernal Shrines and versus Li Ming. And then we went on later in the week to kind of find out that Dreadnought was really adamant about having sustains instead of bursts on Infernal Shrines, which is something I think as a community we all sort of gravitated towards Kael'thas and Phoenix first, and now we're starting to realize, well, as the Phoenix nerfs had rolled out, in fact, sustains are doing much better on a map like Infernal Shrines. But at any rate, another conversation. Let's find our guy here. Let's find Odin's Eye. That is our Morales. That's our Johanna. There you go. Yeah, we found him. Hide the secret box. Hit the right overlay. And we're good to go. Taking the bottom lane here. I'd like to see Johanna in the middle, just because she's always going to be very safe. But Morales and Butcher are together. I think you're great by yourself as well. Hey, I'd love to see a roaming Butcher. Wouldn't that be neat? But Morales Butcher makes for a good lane. And Jaina and Johanna, that's not going to get confusing, is going to look real nice in the top together. Get a lot done, but could be a dangerous place for us. We got a... So we got Zagara, Sonya, Raynor, Rhaegar, and Diablo on the enemy team. Okay. Anything we need to read into here? We're going to have to, with our sustained poison damage, we're basically going to have to kill Raynor twice if we go to kill him. Probably should focus our efforts into blocking Zagara. Sonya, got to keep it in your mind that she will spin, and that'll get rid of any body blocking she would otherwise experience. So landing a clutch zombie wall on top of Sonya isn't going to accomplish much. Rhaegar, Diablo, very powerful. If we have any sort of talents on our team that can deal with Giant Killer or something like that, that definitely suggests he's going the Lightning build. He's going the Health build for Diablo at level 1 here. So we're going to see high health targets. I don't think we have anything. I don't even think Butcher has. Actually, I'm curious. Now I'm just curious. I don't think Butcher has a Giant Killer. And I think that might be a little overpowered for the sort of damage he puts out. Where are you at? The Butcher. Yeah, nothing like that. But he does have the charge talent. That's increased range. I think it's this guy here. Well, not lane to the slaughter. Savage Charge. 10% of a hero's maximum health. All right, so, maybe kind of speaking of that point we were making earlier about trust, we need to trust Butcher. That one, he's going to be good, so we can back him up in any decisions he makes. But hopefully he will do a reactive spec here. And in fact, it looks like we might even have a supportive spec coming from Jaina. Yeah, increase the slow of the chill, which is going to be great for Butcher in order to maintain his attacks. So a good reactionary pick there as well. Looks like Morales is doing a sort of normal build. You went with the permanent death ritual. That's great. Absolutely, it's a great pick. In my previous video, I ended up picking the other one, Blood Ritual, and that was because I wasn't on Infernal Shrines. Death Ritual is the pick 90% of the time. Or I guess what would that be? We have 12 maps, minus Haunted Mines, so it would be an 11. Well, this show is not for math. We've learned that much already. Let's get back to it. So, we lost Butcher in the middle. Looks like a big group there, 4 at the moment. So my thoughts are immediately landing on, so who's missing there? Okay, there's Rhaegar, there's Raynor. We are missing their tank. There's the Diablo. Yep, we knew he was coming. And hey, you just walk away. He doesn't have anything to back it up. 2 in the top, 2 in the middle. So great. Get nuts. That zombie, while not accomplishing much, is a good strategy. Maybe not as powerful as it would be with Blood Ritual, because you won't regen mana out of it, but making sure that that poison is spread on everything possible right now is going to equal more points for us in the later game. And hey, we now know something. We can read into this and say, Diablo makes useless moves. Diablo is willing to use his charge in unoptimized ways. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. Raynor ends up showing up. A mini-map problem. He snuck down here. Rhaegar now in the middle as well. And so we got a little surprised by the Meth Wolf. Oh, jeez. That would be a frightening sight. So here, we're trusting that Johanna, Hearth back to join us down in the bottom, that Jaina is up to important business at the top, and we aren't going to be mad about her missing, but we do need to delay for her and be smart about this engage. Butcher, probably in a position where he's a little exposed. Nice zombie wall. I love the way you use it, where you put it down on the ground. Could be, of course, optimized, but it was a panic sort of click, so you could get rid of Meth Wolf there. Of course, it would fit almost perfectly over this area. Whoa, that's solo Q&A. Let's grab our real whiteboard. Right there, so it fits perfectly. I drew it a little big, of course, but I could see that you were actually using the way I like to use it, which is lay it down early and then escape from the circle as you walk backwards. And here you have the support. Yeah, keep it going. Diablo's coming in. No reason to be scared. He's got other priority targets. Ooh, I would have loved to see you take the initiative and jumped ahead a little bit and tried to get down that zombie wall right over their escape path, particularly on Meth Wolf here, or even Diablo. I mean, Diablo can use his charge to hit one of your zombies, pushing it out of the way, putting him in the circle, but with an opening to get out of it. But that could have been a really cool move if you noticed what Johanna was going for, something this deep. Of course, now Butcher is overextended, started taking tower damage. 2 shots for you just end up taking you down to almost half health. That blood in the water moment, but Morales is taking care of us here. So Zagara's getting to freely push in the top. They have a level advantage, so it's time for everyone to spread out as they do here. And let's see what your level 4 pick is. Okay, Gathering Power. So with Gathering Power, we always have a very clear idea of who we're going to farm off of. Murky, Lost Vikings. Very obvious picks. Misha. Killing Misha is pretty hard without the heavy burst damage that you need off of like Li Ming or something like that. But here, there's no real target for that. The only one available is going to be Zagara, who is worlds away from you right now. Johanna has this lane, so go ahead and get to work. Ooh, another cool application. It was on cooldown, though, but another cool opportunity for that. There's one. Ends up, oof, a little scary for Johanna there, and she's going to go down behind that wall. That was a good move by Diablo, no fault of yours. Though you can always press W to cancel your zombie wall early. Nice job. Another thing we could have noticed on the minimap, gotten out earlier, but luckily no sort of, dire situation came out of it. Middle popping. So we need to get Jaina down here. Yep. Grabbing your well. There's Butcher and Morales on their way. Johanna is lagging a bit. So you're okay for this, but as Jaina arrives on the scene, yeah, let's get ourselves up there. We are a level behind, a talent behind right now. I would have loved to have someone on the team make a call that lets them know that this is okay to give up. Just let it go. It's early on. This isn't going to be a big deal. And here, Johanna, even with all of her powers in the world, with her shield, with everything else she can do, she has a finite amount of health and mana that she has to rely on you to make up for. So in this situation, we're coming from a scary angle, right? Butcher's wailing, doing a good job. Sadly, that Sonya is going to go down. Nice job. Blizzard's pretty darn good. Lots of damage, though. Pushed right through all those Banelings. That was a very cool move. But here, regardless of Butcher being down, Morales being down, Jaina backing, here Johanna has made an engage, and she is trusting you to follow it up. Is this a good engage? No, you're kind of divided from it, slightly by your own zombie wall, but also from the tank in front of you. But we can invest a little stronger. Yeah, look how much damage you're doing to Diablo here. And it's because you're basically invisible. This Jaina, has less health than you. And even if I'm on this enemy team, I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh yeah, look at those juicy targets. And then I look at you, and I probably wouldn't even notice your mana pool. I mean, look at Zagara here. Probably not the first thing you notice. You said, she's going to get away. So they're probably not looking at your mana pool in Bronze League. They just see your health and that you are safe to keep on going. And the push is going to come. Oh, no, he didn't. So these cats need to get themselves back, but Morales is on the scene. A good cleanup. And despite our really low health, this is scary. It's a scary thing to go out there, but they do have finite amounts of health and mana, and you are a sustained character, meaning that even without mana, you can keep the business going. a couple attacks on Darkwing there as he escapes towards the back. Scary stuff like you're real low, and Morales is really busy, but it is one of the responsibilities of a sustained character. But good opportunity for splash damage there. I'm not sure I'd take that one. Your zombie wall ends up locking Morales inside. She's going to go down because of that. As mentioned before, hit that W again and go ahead and cancel that zombie wall if it ends up being unoptimized. It sucks to have a lower cooldown, but as always here, this was a bad engage. If we're using our previous or last episode's replay features of the red light, yellow light, this is totally a red light. We're a level behind. There's no need for this particular objective to be taken. Let's just get back and let's enjoy some soak in the other lanes. And like that, it didn't accomplish anything. And soaking another lane would have been the preferred strategy. Instead, we end up taking a bunch of damage. It's going to either take our well, which we might want to hold on to later. It's going to take us a bit of farm to regenerate as Nazeebo with our passive trait. Pretty obvious place for them to appear all of a sudden. You know, they're taking that camp up above us. There's a pushed out lane right below. You want to escort those minions into buildings on Towers of Doom. So shouldn't have been any surprise that guys came running out of this top path here. And in fact, a zombie wall could have prevented that. Just a preemptive little zombie wall right there in the business to stop it out. Oop. It's a pretty... I like those toads. Those were good toads. Nice! Yes, that is exactly what I wanted to see. Cool, that's a good move by Butcher to get the Diablo off of Morales. Morales trusting Butcher there to make sure that she would be protected in the background. You can help out too with body blocks. Just squeeze yourself in between Diablo and Morales if you're the only two on the field. They have level 10. This is a big red flag. We're level 9. We need to back it up. We need to farm. Mid needs some soak. You know, Jaina's okay in the top by herself. It's a scary place, of course, versus Zagara. She's going to feel pushed out. It's going to feel alarming. But someone needs to be on that middle there. And you could be that person. Soaking is everyone's responsibility. Unless you have Lost Vikings. Then it's Lost Vikings' responsibility. It's your responsibility to trust your Lost Vikings and get what you can done. The spin ends. So Sonya actually ends up getting a little caught in the zombie wall. Some body blocks off a Butcher cause you to get stuck inside the stun. All understandable happenstances. Here comes Johanna, and Johanna is going to engage for us, so we need to be ready in front. Yep, keep those auto attacks moving. Maybe place a zombie wall that will affect their escape path in some way, even if it doesn't trap someone on the inside. And in that moment there, Johanna continued to position herself aggressively, and the rest of the team got stuck in the back, and we had Sonya sort of escape because of that. Yes, we wanted the minions that were standing right there, but they're going to die anyway. And Johanna was in no trouble from the minions due to her high health pool and everything else. So sticking with her and trusting her engage would have been the preferred choice. But now we're both level 10. That we can upgrade that to the, you know, sort of yellow zone, and you're going to be okay. This looks like it might be pretty good. There we go. All right, took a little bit of work. Ooh, I'd love to see Jaina invest in this, but looks like she's just going to be a little low. Hey, Butcher, coming up with a charge or something. That's going to be deep. Oh, and he went on the Zagara. What a shame. But in the bottom here, you're getting some good biz done. I like the investment once you had the Gargantuan out on the field. Of course, if we can get all these towers here, this one and the top one, it'll start firing about once every 2 seconds. Can very quickly lead us to a victory. But in the end, you know, support talent or siege talents on this particular map can be a little lackluster just because you're never going to push the core. Excellent. We have our very first level parallel. 12-12 at the moment. I like your spec. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We can take a look at your takedowns, though, and we're going to see that gathering power isn't getting that much work for you done. Gibbon is great talent. It's a great passive talent to take. I agree with it. Gathering power, though, does require an active hand and like we discussed, a noticing of some sort of vulnerability that gathering power can take advantage of on the enemy team. Sure, that feels good, but we're on cooldown now. Diablo coming in. We can throw out the Gargantuan if maybe we were out in front there. Ooh. This is always a dangerous situation as the Headless Horseman has been engaged. Jaina down at the moment. So this fight goes very differently if you are invested in it. In this league, I'd be very surprised if anyone turned on you. You got the objective for your team. It seems like the right thing to do despite all this chaos. But thinking dynamically about our abilities, we have so much power against someone like Zagara who's going to shoot those Banelings down a straight line and has continued to, over the course of this game, use those Banelings in a very aggressive, non-siege sort of moment of combat sort of way. So we know that there's a Diablo right here. We have that sight. We're zoomed out right now, right? So we can take a look here. We can see. Let's see. Nope, not using locked cam or anything bad like that, so it's good. He has sight of this area, Odin's Eye. So we could apply a zombie wall, you know, somewhere around there to absorb any sort of attack, body block out Diablo from the rest of his team. It's a bit chaotic, and there's a good chance we're going to get our teammates caught inside. Instead, what we could have done is close this distance and cast the Gargantuan so that it pops up in between our team and the enemy team and hopefully absorbs those Banelings. This is a bronze game, by the way, for the chat who's asking. And instead, what ends up happening is this: you end up getting the objective for your team, but look at just, oh, there's this investment. Everybody's invested, and you are breaking their trust. They need you right now. They really do, and Jaina ends up going down. The Maw may have been a saving grace for everyone else, but that darn Headless Horseman orb is flying around. And Gargantuan is a really weird dude. He only likes when you're actively attacking, and the second you stop attacking and start moving, he disengages as well. I pine for the day where Gargantuan can be a little more controllable, but using that ability, we need to make sure we're invested as well in there. All right. Ooh. Oh, yes. Looks like you favored the level 13 Dead Rush ability. Cool. I love Dead Rush. It's for flavor's sake, it is sweet. I love how they get up and the zombies. When it expires, up to 5 remaining zombies uproot and attack nearby enemies for 3 seconds. They have to be alive in order to get up and attack for 3 seconds. The difficulty here of taking Dead Rush is based on your enemy team's comp. So, Diablo. We can look at his talents. They've had a level lead, so we know their level picks before we got to ours. Firestorm returns waves to you, dealing increased damage for Diablo. Bummer. This is going to destroy most of our zombies, and probably won't leave us with the 5 that are actually going to get up and attack. Rhaegar is doing a storm build. He's got his lightning shield here. It's going to spin around him. It's going to destroy your zombies. And more importantly than any of these at all, is going to be Sonya. Sonya spins. She spins. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at her skill set here. Where are you at, Sonya? There she is. Whirlwind deals... Whoa, oh, how did we get there? Oh, I mean, my face looks great. I think it's a good-looking face, but we don't want to be there at the moment. So, Whirlwind deals damage in area... nearby 3 enemies, healing you for 20% of the damage dealt. Tripled versus heroes. So clearly if Sonya's spinning, we don't want to stand on top of her, right? That's going to cause her to heal up, tank a lot of damage, won't be able to kill her. But the other thing is she's going to spin and get outside of your zombie walls, and she will heal for the damage she's dealing in the area to all minions for 20 seconds, which is your zombie wall, which means even if she doesn't kill the entire zombie wall, it's a dangerous ability to use against Sonya because we'll heal her up, and then the dead get up lasting an additional 3 seconds, giving her more chances to heal up for 20% again. So in the end, while a extremely cool talent, Dead Rush is actually poorly applied based on the enemy comp. And that doesn't mean you can't make some magic happen with it. But we need to notice that ourselves. Like, this isn't a tool for going against Sonya. This is a tool for taking mercenary camps. Ooh, apply it. Apply it right there in the hole. You know to do it. Ah, he died anyway. It's cool. Fearing creep is also everybody's job. You have one spell that does it. Corpse spiders. And you have to hit the very, very middle of it here. I can show you the picture. You can see the circle. Right there is the creep. Butcher could slam it. Everybody, most people have some sort of ability. Yours is pretty difficult to use. Odd choice by Butcher using his ult there, but you guys are just burning through this as fast as possible. Sonya would be invisible for us on the other end, so let's go ahead and switch back to your view. We know she's right there. This ends up being a smart pick. Though 4 shots to the core, you know, what did that really accomplish as we start to get ready for our next objective? It gave us a lot of health to heal up from Morales, getting her mana low. Our mana's low now as well, so we need to be careful about those sort of engages as objectives are popping up. Diablo got himself way too deep here, though. Again, you know, we're a little far back here. Good zombie wall to zone him out. But could it be a dead Diablo if we didn't lag behind there? Now Morales needs you to help her get these guys off her. Kill that Banshee that needs 1 attack. You zone out Raynor, it's a little too late. And in fact, with Morales down, that little bit of health and mana that we wasted getting the Headless Horseman is now starting to count against us. Way deep on the Butcher there. There's the Raynor heal up where we have to kill him twice. Well, Sonya does go down. Once again, we're super duper low, but we're a sustained character. Yep, throughout. Yeah, nice job. Stay in the fight. Excellent. You don't need this sort of instruction. You got this sort of thing down pat. Great Blizzard. Great zone for it. Diablo flinches. Indecision. Ends up getting him killed as he can't decide which direction he wants to go and ends up dancing inside the Blizzard there. Don't forget either on that slam on your Gargantuan. It's ready every couple of seconds. Smartly, you guys back up here. The scary little moment there. Morales alerting the enemy team where she is. Luckily, she gets on out of there with her Samus skin. And you rightfully hearth back out. And now we have another talent deficit that we're going into combat with. So we need to once again focus on farm. There's the top. There's the bottom we can take back. Anything important at this level that we're reading into? Not particularly for us. Most builds are pretty casual looking. On our team, here we go, level 16. Anything we need to know that our teammates are up to? Not really. Butcher's gonna butch. Morales gonna heal. We'll see what you end up going with. Not a big fan of Johanna's pick for level 16. Ends up being the Holy Renewal. I don't like this in Bronze League because it will encourage poor use of the blind when it needs to be used to disengage Raynor, Zagara, possibly Sonya, but mainly Raynor here. That's a good charge, though. All right, stay invested. You're invisible right now. Remember that. Despite Meth Wolf having some sort of obsession with you this game and really like going after you, maybe it's a sustain on sustain thing, Butcher has invested. Where is Johanna? Is she in the mix there? Yeah, she's there as well. So everyone who's melee has invested in. Now it's your turn. You need to stay invested. This wiggle to the back while you're avoiding Raynor damage. No, turn around, shoot him in the face. This is your land. These are your guys invested in there. And they have a ticking clock. And now we kind of find ourselves once again towards the back, unable to affect this fight. We end up cleaning up the Raynor. That's good. 2 deaths for them. Now we really need to mobilize fast. Yeah, Butcher's got the right idea. He's making the call. He's tanking this, so we join him. Top needs to be taken down as well. That'll be our next order of business, but we will have a tower popping up soon. Nice. Nice in the head. Good use of the zombie wall there. Maximum damage. I'll pop up. Continue damage. Jaina stays and defends. Not a bad idea, but there's nothing she can really do about these chargers here. Plus, they could make their way to the core. Bottom's popping. 2 in the top. Two in the top is a big advantage for us down here. Yeah, so get with those guys. They need you. A useless blind. And we got the tower. Nice zombie wall. Get yourself out of there. Butcher has left. Johanna is back. Draw those lines with your eyes, as we talked about other episodes. And get yourself out as they choose to. Smart move by Butcher to go around the corner there. Check it out. I'd like to see Johanna accept that as her role, but Butcher isn't bad. And it seems like the Morales Butcher might be on a team together. Seem to be quite married. Ooh, good delete there. That goes down 2. And here you missed another opportunity to take advantage of the decisions that your teammates made. Here we have that fight again. They're gonna get out. You get stunned. Butcher continues the investment. So what's this wiggle? You're gonna go down and visit the bottom. You're going to get you guys some farm, perhaps. This is a good engage. Butcher is engaged. Jaina is engaged. Johanna made the wrong choice. You should be up with these guys. Oh, and that circle of frost. And a zombie wall right over the gate. You could have killed them all. But instead, they get away. And we do eventually join in this fight, but now they're healed up, and they're safe, and their walls, and the engage is broken. Butcher and Jaina, Johanna have already left. And so we're just lagging behind a little bit throughout this game. And it really does come down to trusting your teammates and reading into what they're up to. Of course, don't stand in the poop, but you got yourself out of the poop, so nice job. This would be Johanna's job to move in front, maybe put herself towards the intercepting end of that combat. But we end up getting out of there safely. Bit more luck than skill, perhaps, there. A useless maw. Some information we can take advantage of. As though you heard me there, through the past. You put up a zombie wall to hopefully absorb some of those banelings. It was a good idea. So now we're up to this point. And this point is always hard to decide. It's not dire, though. We can both take a couple of shots. And where'd you go? This is in the engage. And you're back. You're going for the objective, but the combat isn't there. So we end up having this weird sort of engage off of the Johanna, who is absorbing CC. She's being picked up by the Diablo, pushed around. Burst damage is laying down on her. She's doing everything she can. I'd like to see Morales take a couple steps back, but all the same, the healer's healing. The tank is tanking. And we get up, and again, now we get ourselves in that situation where we're continuing to be uninvested. Stand that ground. Sure, you don't want to attack Diablo. Everyone says don't kill a tank. If it's what's in range of you as the sustain, just do it. And all this indecision in the back, I know you want to get that objective, but they're dying. Methwolf could have died 2 seconds earlier. Maybe giving us that push we needed to get up here and get down the Zagara, the Sonya that ended up taking that tower. And neither idea was fully invested in. That's the biggest problem. It's not so much that maybe you ignored the fight and went and got the objective. That'd be one decision as a group. It's another thing when you dance between the two ideas and don't settle on one, and the team is trusting you to make a strong engage and make strong choices. That's good. Yeah, Butcher has that top. There's no need for you to be there. Your zombie wall is going to do a great job absorbing those tower shots. Nice slam on Gargantuan. Nice little stutter step, too. I like seeing that. Getting some XP for your team. The point-blank toads I'm a big fan of. There's a lot going right in here. And, of course, not trying to be hard on you because this is all nice and well, but this is our actual view. And we're able to see a little bit more in a replay, and we're not panicking because there's no way I can die as the observer. But reacting to your teammates is going to be one of the main key ways to get yourself up out of bronze. I see so many amazing players in bronze. Just kick-ass Valas. People who can't be stopped. Amazing Novas. But they don't interact to the information being presented by the comp or their fellow teammates or the movements and skill sets of their enemies. Because we can use that to an advantage, too. Like, if we think about Raynor really likes to try to kill us, we could maybe pull off some sort of bait by getting Raynor to go too deep if we expose ourselves out on the map in a vulnerable position. With team consent, I guess one should say. Diablo coming in. Nice little turnaround there. I like the spiders. Get on out of here, spiders. We did continue to give sight on ourselves by standing on that creep. Like I was mentioning earlier, your really only spell for it is going to be Corpse Spider applied directly to the middle with the splash damage on the very first chuck of that jar. Nazeebo, not a particularly good character to counter Zagara creep, but it can happen. So what's dragging us down to the bottom? The objective. We're hoping to maybe sneak it for our team. Nearly dead Diablo. This fight's continuing. Butcher, Johanna, they're going nuts. But it's a 4v5. And, oh, and you arrive on the scene, and yeah, this might feel cool. Like, you're a hero, and you show up with the cleanup, and oh, nice zombie wall, right? But this all could have been here from the get-go. There was no need for your team to struggle along the way until you made the decision to rejoin them. Great job, great arrival, right? I bet that felt pretty darn good, and it should. But we could have avoided that situation in the first place just by watching our team move around. Now that we won the fight, absolutely, yeah, let's go get ourselves down to the bottom. We have a permanent Gargantuan, so we're good to take mercenary camps by ourselves to push lanes. We have a lot of good going on in this game right now. And we've gotten ourselves a level lead. So they're going to run down there. Got 30 seconds of sweet biz you can get up to. Slams down. Ooh, it just needs a little bit more, doesn't it? So in 15 seconds, we couldn't really blitz every tower just to see, but, well, boss is coming up. 18 seconds on that guy. Everyone will be res by then, and this little path here is so direct. I'd be a little afraid. But hey, this would be a great chance for Butcher and Johanna to gank this Zagara, see if we can get her dead and sort of stagger their arrivals. Said this is pretty scary. We're missing you on the map right now. Interesting choice. Though, I like it. It's not a strong choice by any means, but hey, basically if she caught something there, they were going to stop them from getting the boss, and they could have won the game off the back of it. What you were doing in the bottom, though, was a good idea. It could have also won the game as a group if we had chose to escort these particular minions down the way and joined up with them to push the wall, and then they fire, they turn into cannon shots, and they jump over the wall and destroy the core, and that's a win scenario too. But one or the other need to happen. One needed a higher investment from you than the other, and the team, despite your own personal strategy calls, made a choice without you, and that's just what you go with. So a very cool game. Worked very well into our conversation here. Nice siege damage. Excellent job. Top XP contribution. I like seeing that on all specialists. Great way to get your team back. In fact, quite a bit more XP than the rest of your team. So well done. Well done. Only one death as well. And we did actually stack up some decent gathering power. Looks like we got up to 15%. So with all our lives here, not a bad job. But we missed the team fights, which means there was no chance for us to get the gathered power. So we should have been more invested in the team fights in the first place. Again, informed by everything else, but also our pick of gathering power. You went spiders at 16. Yeah, I love spiders. Jump, spiders, jump. They're good stuff. Well, that concludes our bronze replay. That went pretty darn well. I was impressed. It was low hero damage, yes. But that's because he missed out on the fights, and there's no getting around that. He just missed out on a lot of the beginning engages, came in for the cleanup, ended up getting those gathering power stacks, but missed out on the prime from the get-go, full health, everybody. I'm going to put a little bit of poison damage on you, and then a little bit on you, and I'm going to change targets to make sure that poison damage is applied to as many things as possible, so that when they die, I get my points off my trait naturally. But also, the poison damage across multiple targets will just do more, rather than stacking on a single target who can then be healed through it easier. This works better against other heroes like Morales. Against a Rhaegar, the chain heal is a little too powerful, and poison damages don't really excel there. But with Morales, if you're engaging her on Nazeebo or Lunara, I want to apply poison to as many people as possible so that she has to make tough choices as to who she's going to heal next. And every single switch of that heal is taking some of her attention away. If she gets stunned, then the heal gets broken for a couple of seconds, and it has to refresh just like an ult would. And that's a very powerful place for some CC to be applied in the background with the sustained damage. Trust your CC, trust your damage kind of business there. Would Ravenous Spirit have been a better ult since those fights were over the boss so many times? It's an interesting idea. The Gargantuan will always have less application in a map where there isn't going to be sustained siege damage after level 20. Towers of Doom, if you reach level 20 and they're level 15 for some awful reason, like you're just completely dominating the game, the Gargantuan is not going to outpush the enemy team into victory until you get those couple of shots firing over the top. But you really didn't need that in the first place to win. You probably would have won every engage you got into. Ravening Spirit probably would have been the better choice in that group. Brought some really nice area effect damage, which we were missing. We had Butcher, we had Jaina, right? But hey, a little bit more is always nice. But he would have been in a poor position in the first place to cast the Ravenous Spirit from. We would have had the same player, just with a different ult, and I'm sure we would have missed the same situations we did with frogs and zombie shields and everything else like that. So I wouldn't suggest that Odin's Eye changes himself over to Ravenous Spirit. But like everything else, notices opportunities for it to be applied stronger than a Gargantuan. And that's a good point too, Drink and Run, that Diablo's ult would have canceled it out, which is 100% true. Yeah, he had a good, strong front line. You're absolutely right. But we didn't take advantage of them in the first place, so ends up being an interesting point in the end. All right, well, let's go right on ahead. We got ourselves Paul. Something makes me giggle about game names that are just real life names, in particular when they have their last name. It's just like, oh, well, there you are. Didn't have to think long about that. I wonder how their Skyrim experience is. If they always just go with the same name, or if they really think like I do about, who is this character, crafting their face, pulling the cheekbones up and down and whatnot. Or if they're just like, all right, auto set and Paul. Done. Zelda. For my Zelda save file. Link. Garrett does amuse me. Yes. I don't know. Something just seemed... When all the possibilities are available to you, why not do something crazy? But that's no insult to Paul. I think it's great that people just use their first names, and they probably respond better when they're hollered at, rather than Tarask or some business where people can't say it, or I get Taraskew in vent chat on the raid. So at least Paul will always be said correctly. So it's in a good spot. At any rate, let's get into Paul. Paul says... I had, in my opinion, a good ETC game, but I was hoping for some pointers and maybe call out my mistakes. Also, the team didn't follow any of my written or pinged calls. I accepted it and tried to follow the team. I would appreciate your analysis. So I'm excited for this one. This works into one of the bigger problems that tanks have coming from games like World of Warcraft. If I'm Muradin and I'm playing this game like World of Warcraft PvE mindset, if the whole enemy team is approaching as a big old ball, I'm just going to leap right into the middle of it. Because that's tanking. I run out first, I get aggro, I have a little bit of delay, I have some abilities and whatnot that I can pop in the background, like, shield wall and stuff like that if my healer has to walk to catch up with me. But then once the healer's on me, I'm good to go and I'm tanking and it's PvE. What happens in most of those situations is those players suddenly find themselves dead because they overstepped their healers and their team was more timid than the engages that they were making. Let's find our guy here. Let's find Paul. There's Paul. Howdy, Paul. He's got Bob on his team, naturally. Foxy. Is everyone short named on this team? No. There's some internet names. Interface and Triggers is. Triz. Trigger Triz. If I were to rename my Smurf account right now, I would go with Strawberry Warchief. It was a mistake. It wasn't actually the name I read last night. It was something completely different, but I read it as Strawberry War Chief, and I fell in love with that name. So if anyone's looking for a nice name for their Heroes account, check out Paul here. Looks like he listened to the last episode of ITN or read the Dreadnought posts that have been happening. But right, the strategy on this map right now is going to be to clear out top, head down to the middle, clear that out right as the 50-second mark hits, and then we're already all together for the chest. Looks like that's a shame. Our throw's on the way. Well, Trigger's got himself together. Take quite a bit of damage before that first objective. Could have been avoided just by playing safe. Now we're rolling into this with a little bit of blood in the water. Nice block for the Rhaegar, though. And we're doing our tanky business, keeping that power slide off cooldown. I like this. A little aggressive, but our cooldowns are right behind us here. A little bit of heal for ourselves, and this was never a dangerous engage. This is, though, as Paul takes a living bomb and ends up going down. That ultimately comes down to showing up to the objective with half health. Thrall continued to make engages after you were no longer engaged in them. And in that case, let's jump back here a second and think about what we could have done at this very beginning level to start to inform Thrall that we are going to be the shot caller here. So, well, let's jump back even further. All right. So, here comes Thrall. He's late to the party. He missed the onset. He has no gathered information about any of the enemy players, and we only learned a little tiny bit about Greymane, and that he's going to be very aggressive, as he did a lot of damage to us in the beginning. We're concerned about Kael'thas stuns, probably more than anything else. A Gravity Lapse could really destroy us quickly. So once we see the Gravity Lapse roll out, then we're a little bit more free to get crazy. At any rate, you're using your abilities, you're holding on to the power slide. Thrall makes an engage that you're not comfortable with. So you delay and then end up engaging after he's already started his back out. That could be an opportunity for a quicker reaction based on Thrall's information for us to get in there and start tanking. He goes back. You never agreed with this in the first place, so you lag in the back. You end up getting targeted down. Thrall tries to grab a coin. He's going to go down as well. Bad choice by the Thrall. You did what you could. You could have done it faster. It's not a very good and powerful note, but so often in games like this, particularly real-time strategy games, doing things faster is sometimes really the only thing you could have done. So we're dead. Not for very long. Rainer's hugging the bottom wall, which is great. He's not in a very dangerous position here. Thrall wants to soak top lane. Good. We don't need more than one person soaking that top. We can go help out in the middle. We might be able to go join some characters taking some of those flags that are popping up as we go here. The engage comes down, and Foxy's a smart man and hangs back. Good. Thrall's getting some coins. You're on the engage. So it looks like 3 in the bottom. A Greymane by himself. Dude's around the corner. Good to focus on the coins, but we could have gotten a little crazy on Greymane there, given the information on the map. Now they're missing. Li Ming finds Johanna in the fog here. Gonna try to deny a turn in. And sure, not a big deal. That's not taking us below that half point that's gonna attract any attention from the enemy. Here comes Thrall. He's thinking about helping you with this engage. Good. Yes, let's make it. Oh, sadly, another little turnaround. In that case, we were expecting him to go out. That's going to happen. I love that you shot where they could have been instead of where they were. So in the end, that was a good move. Didn't accomplish anything, but I like it. There we go. Maintain that body block. Don't break it. Johanna is who you have hold of because of the tower line there. Would Johanna have gotten away? Probably. She's a tanky character. But we had a good body block, and instead we end up chasing guys who were already inside tower range. There she goes. A little bit of power of Li Ming. They're burning through a tank like that. So now we're really in that blood in the water moment. We're going to be starting to attract a lot of attention to ourselves Low on mana, low on everything else. Thrall goes way, way deep. We're not going in there after him. That's his fault. That's one of those situations where if he died there, ooh, what a bummer it would be. Wouldn't it be great if maybe Rhaegar could Ghost Wolf in there and maybe take a couple of tower shots and get his 5 coins? Thrall should notice in himself that he is well below half health. Enemy characters don't care about your regen at all. You know what? When I'm fighting you, I don't see this. I don't see this. I see this. That's where I'm looking. And thinking to myself, yeah, they're dead. So Thrall is out here really, really exposed. If there was a stealthy in this game, you would be ringing the dinner bell. Thrall would be, not Paul. Let's get back to Paul. And sure, that's going to carry you mostly to full. Thrall wants to turn in. You want to soak. We're going to go with Thrall in this one because he's holding the baby. If someone tosses you a baby and says, catch, you catch it. You don't just let it go because he didn't want to hold the baby today. Good investment by Johanna. We have a core group here too. Heck, if you want to get a little next level, you can walk next to the chest when you have a living bomb on you so that you can cause the detonation to do some damage to the chest and get the coins inside for yourself. Rainer's having a busy time down there. I entirely missed whatever happened here. So, Thrall, Rainer, they're getting a little stacked on coins here. Rhaegar's got his own ideas. Not a bad idea for him to take this camp. I mean, Rhaegar can solo camps for days. It'll just take him days to do it. So, Li Ming can actually kind of solo these 2 lanes by herself right now. I know you want to get 10. Everyone's having different ideas right now. So go ahead and get with the rest of your group. Thrall, this is the second time he said, let's turn in. Right after you've pinged or made some sort of suggestion that you would much rather do otherwise. It's time to give up and go with Thrall's plan. And because we trust him, right? I mean, despite his calls, and you're the tank, and you pick tank, and maybe you pick tank very willingly, like, I'm tank, I only play tank, this is my biz, guys. Stand back, I'm a main tank. Thrall's making the calls. We trust that his calls are informed by his own experiences. He spent money on a skin, which is always a decent quantifier, too. That he is going to be a good Thrall player, or at least played him a lot, right? I guess that's the master skin, so... You know, you can get master skins playing against AI all day. It's not a clear indicator. But, you know, we can read into this a little bit. Nice job on the bottom there. And you guys get level 10 early. Build's looking good so far. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it happened. All right, guys. This is your time to sign, chat. I love this glitch, by the way. Which of these is the worst? Which of these would you not want to run into? Would it be a Johanna with power slide and mosh pit talents? Or would it be a Greymane with self-sustain of adrenaline rush? Or perhaps you favor the Kharazim with a Spirit Wolf he can turn into. Perhaps it's Sylvanas would be the worst pick, with all sorts of Thrall talents behind her back. You know, Rhaegar with Monk talent seems a little lackluster. Li Ming's taking a really big nerf here by getting those Kael'thas talents. I can't go with that. Rainer, though, you know, his penetrating round is so bad at times that maybe full Golnea's cocktail for Rainer would be the preferred pick. But I think ETC gets the short end of the stick here. Granted, a level 1 ETC with Knight Takes Pawn would be rather fantastic. But he's got more than enough self-sustain without Laws of Hope. I'd like to see ETC take its different talent. A different Johanna talent at level 4 for sure. This thing loves to do it when you rewind, though. It's one of my favorite glitches in the game. Rhaegar getting himself Divine Palm, of course. Gotta watch out for that one. Ooh, Rainer taking that go for the throat. Ballsy pick by Rainer there. Disintegrate on Kael'thas, I think, makes him a better hero for sure. And really, I mean, what we need for Sylvanas is to get rid of possession and give her sundering. I'm done. That was it. All right, so we're responding to this engage that's happening in the bottom. Thrall is really going ham here. I really like seeing this. And we can disengage. Nice push. Even a power slide. Rainer's still in there too. And he's got the self-sustain. He's going to keep on going. That's a great mosh pit. Oh, it's interrupted. That was a good move, though. Great job. You get both your dudes out. That was some fantastic reactionary tanking. And sure, yeah, make it happen. Power slide. Nice. Right into the orb, too. Nice job. Makes me a little sad that Li Ming did not take advantage of the kill she just got and instead sitting on her cooldowns with plenty of mana to cast things. Raynor has engaged before his adrenaline rush is back off cooldown. This engage by Thrall is so questionable. It's not even questionable, it was just bad. You were back. Hey, well, you know, that's the sort of thing to rebuild the trust that we need. Might be. Or master bachelors. Heals, please. You were all out by yourself, Captain. These happen a lot, don't they? Mosh pits without... Well, you know, Sylvanas goes down. 100-second cooldown for Sylvanas. A 30-second dead Sylvanas. On this map? Yeah. That's a decent trait. That's a very twitchy little mosh pit there. I liked it. And you had Li Ming to back you up. A little deep. Li Ming had to adjust to the information that you suddenly provided to her. But she was able to clean up for you. I like this choice. Go ahead and get yourself topped off. Nothing too bad's gonna happen to In the Face in the top. Though these cats need to be concerned about the missing mids that just happened. And Bob and Trigger here as well need to be concerned about any incoming they might have. There's a Kael'thas. They're gonna keep it going though. 7 seconds on Johanna. It's a pretty decent silencing arrow, though actually, I don't think it hit either one. And that's a shame. Oh, such a shame. Nice play by the Thrall, though. Oh, and Pyroblast to the face. That was Bob's fault. Thrall. He's talking about the enemies. Thrall was invested because he trusted Li Ming to continue to engage. He did. It was a good move. It was a good move by Thrall. So clearly now, at this point, if we haven't already, Thrall is our shot caller. It's not us. It's not Rhaegar with his slow. It's not you with mosh pits. Everything we're doing has now become reactionary to Thrall's choices on the map. And we will play better by putting away our egos, perhaps, and joining him in whatever dumb stuff he decides to do. Disintegrate's so powerful against those chests as well. This is good. Nothing really else to do out on the map. That'd be nice, Thrall, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. Oh, at 16, that's a decent call. So we have 16 to their 13, yes. We could. Particularly because we have the Thrall. The sustained damage on his unmoving character is rather fantastic. That means he would be the tank for the boss, and I would position you in the smoke right here. So if we were to make a nice, pretty little engagement off this, we got our boss. We got you, ETC, right here. We put our healer wherever. Probably next to engage as he is the off tank. Thrall tanking that biz. Li Ming in the back. Raynor in the back. And you ready to mosh pit whatever incomes on your sweet team. Looks like this isn't going to be the strategy though. Gonna get yourself some coins. Big fight going down there without you. Rather victorious little fight though. Again, Thrall leading the way. And it's not good. And should it have been good, if that's good English, which doesn't sound like, you would have been too far forward for heals if the damage rained out on you. Not like there was much damage to be had there. And Greymane would have had to, what, close the distance and start dancing, so that's not a good idea. But yes, not an ideal mosh pit situation regardless. Body blocks could have performed any sort of Kael'thas kill we wanted there. We didn't need the ultimate. And that's really the power you could think about some of your abilities is, can I accomplish this without the ability? A body block. Do I even need these spells to clean this lane? Am I in a hurry? No. I'm going to be in this lane for a while. Cool. I won't use my Blizzard on Jaina to push out this lane, thereby giving them lane advantage, putting it on their half, and then... Oh, thank you. Thanks for the heads up. I guess that drawing doesn't make a lot of sense once we're away from everything else.
Keep fighting, warriors.
Not deep enough there, but understandably so. Want to keep in range of that Rhaegar, who is not available for this fight at the moment. This is an odd location to go. I know you want to soak, but Thrall, Li Ming, Raynor, they're all invested in this push. And Rhaegar is also invested in this push, and it seems it got away from you. I think you'd like to turn in. I think it's a fine idea. The rest of the team was up to something entirely different. A nice power slide. Could have whittled them down earlier. Now we have a dead boss. This fight is going to break. Damage is going to roll out. Kind of strong, actually. You guys end up getting Sylvanas, though. But again, you disengage despite the Thrall continuing his engage. Despite Li Ming and Raynor continuing to want to kill things. Mosh pit? Nice. And Raynor jumps right into it. Sadly, though, not enough damage. We end up losing our sustain. There goes Thrall as well. And we have to get ourselves out. Power slide's gonna carry us away. I like going through the bush there. Nice little bit of wiggle. Turn in, please, like it was his plan all along. Well, because that now we're meeting, Thrall's problems here. That he isn't acknowledging that his continued participation in that combat was actually the one maintaining it. Rhaegar taking a bit of damage. He's got some movement speed, though. They'd have to mount up to catch up with him. And he even went... Well, looks like he didn't go the level 1 talent to make him a little quicker, though. This chest is where you should be. Other heroes making the call there. Excellent. Now we can take advantage of those bottom coins that we've gathered. Ooh. Yep, so he had an idea, and he's face-checking it. He's really invested in his own ideas, regardless of the rest of his team, but when he gets in, doesn't he deliver a bit? Focusing on a tank there, not the best call. But it's what's available to him. Momentarily blinded. We need to open up an opportunity for Thrall to engage smartly. There's a power slide. He is broke. Yep, he is broke. He has gone in a separate direction. This is a disengage as far as I'm concerned. But we end up getting a kill thanks to Raynor and Li Ming. And Thrall even cleans up the darn Johanna down there in the bottom. Now we're getting a little bit pulled off to the side. 24 coins for us. And we're going to waste the majority of the death of Khwarazim and Johanna running around instead of getting a turn in that we've opened up for ourselves. But, whatever. We have a 3-level lead right now. We're okay to get a little crazy. This is a little overextended, but what's Sylvanas and Greymane gonna do to you when Raynor and Li Ming are right around the corner? What's your level 20 talent, buddy? Because there's a number one. Okay, Tour Bus. I like that. With Showstopper, sure. Speed Rock, sure. We got 6. Thrall's making the call. Well, nope, looks like he's heading top. Looks like he's going to go get himself into some trouble, perhaps, so we can turn in real quick and then get back to him. Get back to our babysitting. Our baby with giant guns on them. It's great. Great, wow. Really great notice of the Haunting Wave there and locking her down for the entirety of it. A little bit of heal off of Chain Lightning there. This has become more of the Tro Thrall report. But he is the one making all the calls here. And no matter how angry Thrall got about my tanking in this case, he is in the right because he continues to deliver. It's a easier one skill set playing other MOBAs like Dota, because you will find yourself at a level deficit to your teammates. If this was a game like Dota where individual XP exists, Thrall would be running around right now at level 21, and you, having missed some of these engages, would be 17. And your Rhaegar, who have never gotten a final hit in the whole game because he wants those to be fed up for Thrall, would be like 15, and spending all his money getting wards and stuff, instead of, support, building up his healing powers or his damage or anything else like that. And so we would be entirely reliant on Thrall here, and everything would circle around him as our star player. So here, the fact that we let him in front of us is a little bit of a disservice to Thrall's skills. Here he goes, the engage. Yep, I don't care if it's a great power slide. It can be just an okay power slide. You need to get in there. It ended up being pretty dark. Oh, that was a nice core bust. Nicely done. All right, win. Just win it. Don't die, Thrall. It's time to win. It's time to win. Nice zone by Li Ming there. What do you... Nope, get back in. Get back in there. They're winning. The core does splash damage in the face, and Trigga taking splash damage off each other. There we go. There's Rhaegar spreading out, sadly taking a bit of tower damage. So, yeah, your tanking basically came down to a lack of acknowledgement of your star player. And was he a bit of a dingus? Yes. But he wasn't a dick. We can say that with some confidence. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Li Ming leading the way, as she should. That's good. Wow, Thrall right behind her. 10 damage behind her, in fact. 9 kills on that guy, 4 deaths across him, but that makes sense. Rhaegar could have hugged him a little better, too. A little bit of Orc Brother high fives going on there. Tanking damage, maybe a little low, but we didn't die as many times as Johanna, so you never eked out that last little bit of health that equaled the death, meaning Johanna with 4 deaths, of course, tanked more damage than you. Could be a sign that you missed a couple of fights, but really, your assists are at 13. You were there for almost every engage. A couple of solo kills by Li Ming and Raynor caused you to miss out on every fight. So not bad. Not bad, but it was just the acknowledgement of Thrall that was missing in that case. Right, and he was anxious with 15 coins, but he was level leads up, right? There was no way with 3 dead that they were going to come exploding out of the core with a 3-level deficit to take that game back. At least, I'm going off of memory here. I didn't exactly check the end to see what the level lead was, but he's the winner in the end because he made it out with cash. Right, you get to keep them, That's how it goes, right? If you exit Blackheart's Bay with coins, you get to keep them and spend them on sweet skins. I hope that's never a rule for this game at all. Now, Cyanox, for sure, we're a little excited about Thrall in this case. Bringing home some good plays. But yes, he did spread around some living bombs, which were not optimal. So yeah, those are some good games. Really works well into our conversation today about trust, and also who's the shot caller in those particular games. A lot to be taken from there, and it's a shame. And it's why I don't like off-tanking. I really, really hate off-tanking a lot, because I get so confused as to who's the shot caller. Is it me? As the sort of damage bruiser, do I need to get in first? Is it the main tank that needs to get in first? Or is it one of our crazy sustains like Thrall that's making all the shots? Or, someone like Nazeebo with zombie walls. And now I don't know my place. I'm assisting them, but I'm also doing damage. So that's why, in particular, you don't see me play things in Heroes League like Tyrael or off-tank Leoric. Almost never happens. It's solo tank Leoric all the time over here. Because it's a confusing thing to do. Yeah, the new feature is really cool. I do like the chat thing. Of course, I'm going to keep it on the screen here because we post these to YouTube, and you guys have great questions that I want the YouTube to be able to see what I am responding to, as well as there. Yeah, so there's seems like quite a few issues going through Twitch at the moment. But we seem to be A-okay. Yeah, and these are all our personal experiences, particularly when it comes to IGN. It is about sharing Garrett and I's experiences through the week as to what we've witnessed. There was a emailer who sent in, some messages to us telling us that it was just really insulting to them that we treated Stitches so lightly last week when he got nerfed. And we're like, oh, isn't that interesting? A couple extra seconds on his cooldown on a talent that nobody takes. Of course, this is the talent that everyone who's pro is taking right now in order to sustain themselves and keep their damage high and their healing high, self-sustain. Infernal Shrines, that Stitch's Gorge ability Devour ability was fantastic in order to help him sustain and keep healed up when there were so many little minions available the whole time, as long as he got the killing blow. In our experience, and the majority of people at home... Oh, are we... Oh, Echoes. Okay, cool. That's not the first time Echoes' name has made me go, oh no, my sound quality is all bad. Where was I? Yes, for us at home, I do not want to solo tank Stitches because most people don't understand that it requires follow-up. That hook goes out, it grabs somebody, and what are you going to do with it? It's not like Pudge in Dota where you send out the hook, you grab them to you, and then you fresh meat all over their face, holding them still while you do damage to them. You could solo kill very easily. That doesn't work well in the sort of how warriors work for Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is built a lot more like World of Warcraft, where we have healer and tank and 3 DPS, and that's how we make a good refined group. It also means we see a little bit less variety in group comp, but actually when you get into meta plays for Dota, the teams end up looking very much the same game to game. And League of Legends, their balance is kind of sustained by like 25 really OP heroes, and then everything else is just okay. But because there's enough OP heroes, you can continue to have a good exchange as you balance out your picks with other OP heroes. But it means, again, there's sort of this stagnant pick pool. So heroes pick pool a lot smaller. And pro players, they get the stuns. They have the follow-up to get the hook, or the positioning. They put themselves in really cool bushes with a body block so that when they land the hook, something accomplishes on the back of it rather than our at-home experiences. So I understand that. And also, as sort of a side note here, I'm being careful into the future to avoid telling people... I'm trying to inform people how to analyze their games to, sort of learn to catch a fish rather than I give you a fish, right? I mean, it's one thing for me to get on here and say, no, your build is bad, and the way you played was bad, and that's not useful information, or me telling you what spec you do. Like, if I'm to teach someone Li Ming, and they don't pick Calamity, for me, my little heart is breaking, because Calamity is such a huge part of how I get the business done on Li Ming, right? It hurts. But you've made different choices in your talent spec. You just need to play to those strengths. Kind of like we saw with Nazeebo and his Gathering Power. We never changed the way we play when we got that talent in order to take advantage of it. And that's more important than playing like me. Which is a whole nother different conversation. Right, exactly, Hamwich. Exactly. If, and even if you don't have, like, Uther there to land the perfect stun after the Stitches hook, people understand in the higher leagues that that is the engage. The shot has been called, and we all need to do whatever we can, whether it's body blocks, and if I'm Li Ming, I'll teleport in front. The number of body blocks I've accomplished on Li Ming after Diamond Skin helps out a lot with that, has been fantastic. I'm able to jump over people with that increased teleport range and aid in a Stitches hook if it happened. So, I'm going to try to see it, too, from other people's point of view. Like, what was it, 3 weeks ago, Diablo got a nerf to his Flame Stomp, and I'm like, no, why would they do this, even though he's the top warrior across the board right now? And then we get to the Stitches nerf, and I'm like, whatever, Stitches. And people felt a little betrayed by that, which is absolutely understandable. And informed by my experiences, too, not so much the pro scene. Did I have a... Did I have a fish pun? I think scaling, maybe? No, I think I got out of there pun free. No, and Diablo was not hurt heavily, but because I'm personally invested in there, I took more weight from it, whereas the Stitches one I sort of waved off, and that's not fair, and I can see how that statement would upset those really dedicated Stitches players out there. So we're all learning together, and let's get into this. So let's get to Fleur's email here. So Fleur sent it over. I've really been enjoying your replay analysis show. I really like when you do professional players, and I felt none deserved more attention than Crosby's Sylvanas play. It is truly was Sylvanas that secured the win for Navi against Sandwich Monkeys in the Enter the Storm EU Finals. A little bit of spoilers and whatnot, lots of damage. Everything Sylvanas accomplishes is given to her by her team. So, enjoy. Thank you for sending it over, Fleur. This is Sylvanas on Infernal Shrines, and let's take a look at what she's up to. Now, when we get into pro replays, if this is your first time joining me, welcome. Feel free to shoot the channel a follow. We do not really make decisions for the pro players. They're the pro players. We're the dudes at home. We're just trying to understand why they're doing what they are and maybe gain an appreciation for how to play Sylvanas correctly. And in this case, it's just an appreciation for Sylvanas, because I've been kind of hard on the poor lady recently. Let's find her here. Wait, really, an Illidan? Okay, sweet. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what goes down. Level 1 pick. Actually, let's use the fancy buttons here. Let's see if we can... Nope. Was it Alt? Nope. Okay. Control 1. Eat 1. Yeah, there we go. There's the fancy buttons. Does this... Oh, it does show me. Excellent. Reduces the cooldown of Shadow Dagger by 2 seconds. Pop. And they're rolling out onto the field. Let's get refocused here. Let's get this menu closed. Even though it may be fancy, we are focused entirely on Sylvanas for this match. So they dive a wall. Pretty usual play, right? To open it up. Skeleton King. Oh, and Muradin on the enemy team. Wow, haven't we traded spots? Looks like the team is doing the exact same thing on the opposite side there. Yeah, why not? Pretty cool position to do a little bit of bonus damage to the well there. Falstad flies up top in order to continue this engage for him. Johanna's perfectly safe in the middle. Rhaegar continues to stay engaged. Illidan gets out using the wall. And if you're not familiar with that, that's why if you have an Illidan on your team, you always want to leave those little walls up so you can leap to them later. So Falstad did Seasoned Marksman, which means as soon as the engage is over, he is going to immediately fly across the map in order to continue absorbing stacks of Seasoned Marksman. So we can expect after an engage is over that he will leave very quickly after that. And Illidan's taking the safe route there. Going around the back. Gonna go visit top for a little bit, it looks like. Very squirrely Sylvanas here. Lots of back and forth. Nice job. Shadow Dagger canceling out the lane minions before they can reach the towers. So they actually have full ammo at the moment. Not a single shot done on those. And he's got a tower. Yeah, I can see it. He wants to get that fort. It's a good call. And he attracted Muradin down here for what's worth. They got 2 tanks, though. So this isn't, you know, a game-making plan, but a main tank for a specialist. That's not a bad idea. Ended up going with Envenom, which is something I've been a little hard on recently. Ever since Envenom has continued to get many, many nerfs. A little bit of a misclick there, but doesn't really matter. Wouldn't have been a kill in the first place, though. Illidan a bit deep, and hey, everyone's on the scene now. In fact, they're basically ignoring the shrine there. Well is up and allows Illidan to dive out. Crosby continues to move with the group here. Illidan having to take the very bottom way out there. Nice dodge by them. Oh my goodness. I want to see that again. That was a fantastic little dodge. If intentional, could have just been a body block. But if true, that was a very cool little move to dodge the Auric that suddenly appears from the top here. He comes in. Crosby mounts up. Walks around the back of the Skeleton King real fast, dodging the entire slow. Falstad still not activating the top shrine by himself, which wouldn't give him any sort of advantage. You can't get your seasoned marksman stacks off of that sort of business. Bottom tower is gone, so no reason for us to stick around there. Fort and all. Johanna actually going. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. She ended up not going knight takes pawn. Was actually pretty active moving between both lanes, so there never was a good long period where she was soloing a lane. And knight takes pawn may do extra damage, taking away from an opportunity for Falstad to get additional stacks. Cool. That's an interesting idea. I'm curious about Rhaegar's spec here. Ended up going with the increased area for Earthbind Totem, and then to Healing Totem, which appears to be no different than the normal version, just has a special picture. Looking at the enemy team, I guess outside of the Skeleton King swing, there really isn't a lot of area effect damage. I mean, there could be, a Baneling drop or a swipe off of Greymane or a Reverberation Thunderclap from Muradin that ends up taking it out. But there's nothing like blizzards or anything like that that might destroy the Healing Totem super early on in a safe way. So, that's a cute pick. I like it. So we got our Crosby. Keeping safe. They're pretty deep. Ends up going down here to the minion lane, clearing it out a little bit. That does lock it down. Nice focus on XP. Gonna have level 7 before the enemy team. What's he end up going with? Hey, he's taking a while. This makes me feel a little better about myself. Okay, there we go. And the pick is Unstable Poison. Minions that die under the effect of Black Arrow explode, causing her to push lanes faster. Okay, makes sense. She's going full specialist without the Envenom, of course, which has not been used yet. It'll be interesting to see who she selects. With an Uther on the enemy team, there's plenty of good chances for Envenom to do some good work. Goes out on the Muradin there, and Muradin gets the heal. Illidan cleans up. Dangerous little flip there, could have carried him over, but he disengages. And it's right back to these minions here. Does Black Arrow, Withering Fire, reset on killing anything? Gain 1 charge anytime a minion or mercenaries... Okay, so it's not recharging based on all these little skulls getting killed around here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Knight Takes Pawn does not work on Shrine minions either. It's just such a popular idea in Platinum, Diamond, even Low Masters to sort of put Johanna in a lane by herself so the rest of the team can get their business done. Great escape by Skeleton King there. Took Hardened Bones, I like that. And did he take Ghastly Reach? Ghastly Reach? Interesting. I wonder why, in his opinion, he would take that. I mean, I want the slow when I'm solo tanking, of course. And the increased range, okay, yeah, maybe on Infernal Shrines, I grab bigger handfuls of everything and get more skulls quicker, skeletons quicker. So that could be the idea he's going with. Ooh, nice silence. Not like Zagara needs to be silenced or anything, but certainly allowed Illidan to jump the wall and not be stunned by Muradin there. That was a cool idea. Oh, looks like we've locked on to... Nope, we're good, we're good. That's a cool idea, Ham. That he took it to counter Illidan so that it would be the same slow, but a bigger distance that Illidan would have to close in order to continue doing damage on the team. That's a cool idea, but can't Illidan just leap over? And then you take double swing later? Okay. Okay, I feel that. I feel ya. Yeah. Definitely a cool pick for Shrines. I agree. So, ideally, Sylvanas wants to get towers, of course. Sylvanas not a person to be able to clear up creep very easily. You have to use your Haunting Wave in order to deal that. Even a little misclick there on the Withering Fire. Taking a look at the top. Greymane goes down. No need to join that fight. So gonna go back and support this minion push. And now they're double. Nice. Illidan's getting nutty with the confidence of the rest of the team coming in on the engage. Nice grab by Johanna. And actually, I want to see that again. I was looking at the rest of the team and we kind of lost track of Sylvanas there. So a cool engage by Falstad there. When they're all grouped up, yep, there's the silencing arrow. Okay, that's the reason for the cleanup. No one's able to cast any spells. Hardened Bones does get the Skeleton King out. They unsilence, and Illidan leaps right over the wall. Alright, good. An entomb on only the boss. Not boss, but solo tank. Nice. That was a good push. Shrine's time. Really holding on to the Withering Fire, too. Yeah, completely avoiding it. Shadow Dagger does a lot of work here, but doesn't lock anything down. And then, as she escapes, using the Withering Fire. Good reservation. No mana either, so may have been a choice based on that. Illidan's in the top tanking a camp right now. No need to panic before they get to 30, but looks like we might just be giving this one up. And with no forts or anything else to take, we're just going to be slightly annoying. Well, hey, that's how you want it to go, right? Entomb accomplishes very, very little. Illidan going ham in the back. Getting a little isolated as his main target goes down. Nice job by Falstad. Ooh, sick cleanup. What, now you're going to go kill Muradin? Might as well. 2 down. And it's the damage as well. Falstad's going to clean up the Orc there. All right. Crosby just stays on the Sylvanas business. Let's take a look at damage at this point in the game. 8 minutes in. Level lead for the enemy team, though. See how the XP is doing. A bit lower, actually. Falstad, that makes sense. He keeps flying the lanes and getting farmed up. Top hero damage, top siege damage. Wow. Would not have expected that. These have been some clutch silencing arrows, though. But Crosby is currently out of mana. Great job by Johanna and Rhaegar. Rhaegar noticing himself as that off tank and really getting on the engage in there. This is a deep Skeleton King. Where's the delivery? There is none. Maybe he was just trying to zone him out. An odd choice. It ends up falling while isolated. Kind of a scary thought here, isn't it? But we have 3 levels up. So. Oh, you know what? You're right. Withering Fire costs no mana. I didn't know that. That's an interesting observation, then. I don't know of any situations you could really take advantage of that. Other than if you're like Malfurion and don't give mana to Sylvanas. But Sylvanas would want mana for Haunting Waves and Shadow Daggers and other things too. I think she'd benefit fine from it. Okay, here we go. Rolling in the back. Ooh, wow, that was a really clutch long-range arrow there. Another Divine Shield on Zagara, too. I think Greymane would prefer those things for himself. And a healing ward that stays up the entire time. Yeah. Chat saying, Cheesy Bob saying that he wasn't saving the mana, of course, because it costs no mana. He was instead holding on to all 5 charges in case he had to get in an engage and unload them on a single person. That makes sense. With Entomb, that makes sense. They hit level 16. Let's take a look. Let's see what Crosby's up to. Evasive Fire. You gain movement speed. Yeah, that seems... You have 2 choices there. 30% movement speed or 30% slow. If you kill the target you've slowed, well, then the slow is done. Here, you gain the movement speed, and you hold on to it for yourself. I think that's the level 13 preferred choice. And Cold Embrace, yep, vulnerability. Okay, yeah. So Crosby's doing the build that I've become accustomed with off of Sylvanas's. You can see him doing that stagger, making sure he's auto-attacking something different than the thing that the Withering Fire is on top of, so he's locking down two at the same time. All Sylvanas should do this. Interesting. Oh, snap. Cool little swipe there. And dive by Greymane to try to get out of that at the last second. But great eyes by Falstad here. Interesting choice. Once again. Okay, but holding on to it. Yeah. Keeps fighting. No Envenom. Skeleton King goes down. Held on to the Withering Fire charges, which would have gone off on a useless well. Instead, all pours on to Leoric and burns him down. Adds to the burst. So I see what they're up to now with that. Now we get back to 5 charges. Very curious getting to see the application of Withering Fire in these situations. It's nothing I've really considered, but as you guys know, I haven't played very much Sylvanas. That's true too, Drink and Run. Staggering your Withering Fires to make sure you always sort of apply them regularly means you have the bonus movement speed. Actually, I'm curious about that talent real quick. 10% movement speed for 2 seconds whenever an enemy is hit with Withering Fire, stacking up to... Okay, cool. 2 seconds. Stagger it. Stacking up to 30, so it'd take 3 charges. But rhythmically, we could keep this going almost indefinitely. But I was just checking to see if I had to hit heroes or enemies or minions or if there were any sort of side rules to it. But nope, it's just casting it as long as it hits enemies. Does give it a little bit of power as a pick on Infernal Shrines. Falstad down in the bottom. Farming up. What is Falstad up to, actually? Not, like, what is he up to, but what's he up to on his season marksman stacks? 34 at the 12-minute mark. That's pretty darn hot. Safe position. Alex in front. Lots of missing. A little bit of a surprise Leoric there. Ooh, takes all the damage off that one. And blows every single stack. Movement speed. Keeping her with the group. You know what? That gives a little more merit to the assassin-style Sylvanas that I've been poo-pooing a little bit recently. Because if they're actively staggering their Withering Fires like that, they can absolutely run from their previous siege position in the back up into being an assassin near the front. Kind of like Falstad's barrel roll. I like that a lot. Of course, doing a little bit of stutter steps so those skeletons can't close the distance and deliver any sort of real damage that might put Crosby in an attractive situation for the enemy team to dive. I mean, for the most part, Greymane has never targeted Sylvanas here. That Maw is going to work poorly for them. Oh, great wind. I wish we could watch at half speed. I want to see that again. And I might pause brick by brick here to kind of see what the targeting priority was for Sylvanas. Because Illidan's kind of easy, right? You just go in and you kill everything you can. Falstad also has a number of rules that can make his target priorities easier because he has Giant Killer. And he's going this Hammering build, so if we fire out the Hammering and we hit someone, then we know to attack that person because we'll get the bonus stuns. If we have Giant Killer, we can attack tanks more regularly. But what is Sylvanas' auto-attack priority based on her spec? So here's the Silence. Goes in. Immediately starts unloading those Withering Fires right on top of Leoric, switching between the two. Whoever's in range, I guess, for the movement speed. Moves on to Uther at this point, just basic auto attacks. Back to Greymane. There's the Withering Fires going out on Zagara. Okay, so it's actually rather controlled. I guess the movement speed would allow you to stand closest to the target you want to hit, and thereby deliver more assassin-style Withering Fires in the first place. Then it's on to Zagara. Death. We refresh all of our goes. No use using Haunting Wave or anything like that. Greymane's already dead in the back, just running for it. So that's someone else's business. And looks like Johanna actually had to clean up on that. All the damage immediately dive into the pit. Crosby's use of his positioning to make sure that Withering Fire delivers the goods here is fantastic. And just continues to be for it. Granted, they're 3 levels ahead at this point. So, if Illidan jumped a wall and started auto-attacking their fort, it would still be warranted because of a 3-level lead. But looks like she wants to get back as they're starting to respawn here. Johanna shows up on the scene, so we're thinking about making an engage. Rhaegar's way in the back, though, so it looks like we're just sort of pushing with the Punisher. His camera angles are good, too, for him. Making sure you can see the important stuff. Very unlikely that a gank would run in from behind. Here making a choice just to burn down the fort. And only after a couple seconds of attacking, deciding to do the staggered thing. Again, 4 levels up for a little bit there. Maybe Crosby isn't quite paying attention to enemy forts with all his might. Positioning by Illidan definitely left open some opportunities for the enemy team here. But we're going to go on Leoric again. A couple of Withering Fires out the back for some movement speed. Entomb yet again lands on Johanna. What a waste. Oh! Stun wasn't staggered correctly. Able to use the Haunting Wave to get out. Interesting. Tank absorbs the CC, just like you want him to. Damage rolls out on Skeleton King. Rough! Silencing Arrow, man. That was fantastic. Leoric ends up going down in the background. Aggressive Haunting Wave to close the distance. Ends up getting Shrink Raid, in fact, which is probably warranted by the stats. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Crosby's beastly. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, darn tootin'. All right. Another Haunting Wave to continue the aggression. Ends up breaking off the tank. Looking to get a Greymane kill. Withering Fire goes a little awry. Ends up picking up Bolt of the Storm. With a 4-level lead, I can assume that'll be 100% aggressive. Skeleton King in the back. In fact, let's take a quick look at that Skeleton King's talents. Just for being as a Skeleton King player, I was curious. So we end up going with that Reach. Crushing Hope for the bonus damage. Yep, against Johanna, sure. And then the recast. Yeah, you guys called it. Going on the recast, huh? Good pick for Infernal Shrines. I agree. Good pick for Infernal Shrines. I'll have to use that information in the future. Getting back focused on Crosby. Oh, well, 3 dead. So let's end this thing. Johanna's moving in. Nothing in the area going to get any splash damage. Illidan taking a couple shots, but whatevers. He's going to close the distance as well. Here comes Zagara. She's not going to be able to do much to stop this. But everyone's getting a little low, and in fact, Falstad, with some poor positioning, goes down. So now we are firing on the core and Withering Fire. Okay, yeah, so we're focusing the core. Yep, Withering Fire's just hitting whatever's in the area. And they end up winning rather handily with a 4-level lead for basically the entire end. Victory. Brutal. Didn't actually get to see any cool Bolt of the Storms either, because the game ended so quickly. All right. All right, so if we want to play like Crosby, if we are Sylvanas and we are applying ourselves to be the best Sylvanas we can, look how important positioning was throughout that whole darn thing. Just constantly making sure, not only that the movement speed was able to give escapes when we ran away or anything like that, but making sure that our positioning gave us the clearest Withering Fire target available and actually controllable to the point where we were attacking Zagara despite the entire cluster of the enemy team. That's some fantastic control. Thank you, Fleur, for sending that over.